this around because I'm going to show you how to use the asteroid and also today. So what I have is the eclipse chart that I discussed Nish at the Cosmic Salon. And I thought I would just show you how to do asteroids. Now that's really interesting. So this is Mark Pottenger's program. And Mark Pottenger is someone that Demetra George informed me about, and it's very hard to get an asteroid program. So if there's anyone out there who is able to create an asteroid program for astrologers, it would sell like hotcakes, and I would get those 44,000. What you need to do is put them in zodiacal order, and you list them. The zodiac is tropical, meaning the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, and you put in the date. So this is 9/7 of 2025, and the UTC time is 1808 for this eclipse. And what you do is you look at the, hey, Sassy Lassie, so good to see you. You're doing a live with me. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I mean, it's like nighttime there, isn't it? Okay. Well, Mark Pottenger designed this program and he updates it every month, but you have to have an old laptop. So this is a really old laptop. It's one that you can still put a computer disk into. And so you have to have a computer disk. And then what you do is there's 44,000 of these asteroids. Now, everyone has all of these asteroids. But then the question is, what is actually prominent at that time? So if you look over here, we've got tons of asteroids at 0 degrees. So I just want you to see what I go through as an astrologer to get your personal asteroids. And I have to pick them. So now I'm going to move this up. That's all the asteroids at 0 degrees. And then you get into the 1st degree, and you can see that Tristan is an archetype that you could use at the 1st degree of Aries. And the only reason that Tristan would even be prominent is because Neptune is at 1 degree, 11 minutes at that time. So what you do as an astrologer is you go down and you say, okay, there's Tristan, that's something. Xenia, which could be something. Meyer could be something. Hercules could be something. Here's a word that is David with an L-I on the end. So that's how you do it. You go down and you go, okay, which of these are archetypes? Now, if you have this program, you have a person in your life that is David, then you can also say, oh, David is conjunct Neptune. Neptune is about illusions and fantasies, so you have to be careful. That's how I would read that. And the Tristan is also an interesting asteroid because it's about these star-crossed lovers of Tristan and Isolde, and they can never get together because they are from different groups, different kingdoms, different tribes. So you see how I'm doing this? I'm just looking at the asteroid program, and then you move your cursor, and sometimes this thing moves really fast. I'm trying to move it slowly for you so that you can see how it's done. And it moves through, and you're going to go all the way through Aries. You see, this is just Aries. So it's in zodiacal order, and we're going to go all the way through. And then we can see on the eclipse at 14 degrees. So I'm going to go all the way through to 14 degrees. You're going to look for whatever is conjunct Ceres, which happens to be at 14 degrees. So now we finally got to 14 degrees. So all of these asteroids are conjunct Ceres at that time. So Yalta, David, another David, and it goes through like this. So here's Ceres right there. Ceres is the biggest bit. Ceres is right there. So at 14 degrees, 38 minutes, Ceres will be retrograde during this eclipse. So that's R for retrograde. And all of these asteroids traveling with her appear to be moving retrograde. So that would indicate how you read that is you would say, there's some big review going to be necessary around food and the goddess of agriculture and where we get our food from. That will be in Aries, the cardinal initiating action of what we should all be doing is reminding ourselves of how to grow our own food because Ceres is retrograde during the eclipse. All right. Now we're going to keep going. And the next one we have is Chiron at 25 degrees. So you go all the way down through. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep doing the whole thing. I don't want to be terribly boring for you. But you go all the way through Chiron, and you're going to see a whole bunch of asteroids at 25 degrees. So then you have to pick which of these are remotely interesting to us. Okay, you see Jetta, but you also see ATALA, number 152, ATALA. That is a word that is very close to the alleged mothership, the Atlas. If they're calling it Atlas, so this is as close as you can get. 152, and it's right there. ATALA. So that mothership, the Atlas, right? Atlas, the mothership, is the asteroid name is going with Chiron and also an outer planet called Eris of what has to be acknowledged. So the closest asteroid I have to this mothership thing is ATALA, conjunct Chiron and Eris. Now that is super interesting. I looked it up at astro.com today too to see if I could find this asteroid Atlas. And the closest thing you can come up with is 152. So we're going to watch that one. As an astrologer, what you do is you watch that one. Now, Atlas is at 25 degrees. Chiron's at 26 and Eris is at 25. So it's exactly conjunct Eris of what's going to cause discord and strife, what's going to cause people to be very upset. ATALA. This mothership is called Atlas, that is being, commercialized, televised, reviewed by NASA. It's called Atlas. Now, if it's conjunct Chiron, that is the hybrid. All right, that is the product of the rape. It's a long story about Chiron, his mother being raped, and he was a hybrid thing. And Atlas is traveling with that Chiron at this time. And this is what I have said, like, okay, so here's Eris. Eris is right here. Eris is an outer planet, but she also has an asteroid number, even though she's a planet that's bigger than Pluto. They put her in here, and there it is at 25 degrees. So Eris is conjunct Atlas, or the closest word that I could come up with to Atlas. Now that tells me that something about this mothership thing that is allegedly arriving in December of 2025 is going to have to do with the hybridization, Chiron, hybridization of the wounded people who have been patented and hybridized. And Eris is traveling there at 25 degrees of what is going to cause discord and strife. So when Nish had asked me about this, and Nish will get that conversation out soon at the Cosmic Salon, I didn't really know what to say because I didn't know the asteroid number and I didn't know how it was operating in this eclipse. But this eclipse, So Atlas, I've written it right here. ATALA is conjunct Chiron and Eris, and that is going to make the major T-square in this chart. Okay, this is the major T-square event of Chiron and Eris and Atlas squared to Jupiter. Jupiter is right now, Venus and Jupiter are morning stars right now. So if you get up at like 5 a.m. and look to the east, they're rising before the sun. So those are morning stars right now. Chiron and Atlas by September is going to be conjunct on what? A blood moon. Okay, so this is Sunday, September 7th of 2022. I suggest you read Shaking Medicine and get dancing and getting your vibe really high, because what I discuss with Nish is about how Orcus is conjunct the sun on the south node. And Orcus has to do with facing uncomfortable truths and the consequences of your choices. And I also that asteroid DNA 55555 is conjunct Pluto. Orcus is beyond Pluto, meaning that whoever, basically is going to be continually abducted because of some kind of DNA mutation. And then over here, we've got Atlas, the asteroid closest to what NASA is calling a mothership. Okay. The closest spelling you can get. All right. So you got to get like this when you do asteroids, because they're not all exact. So this is the closest spelling of what you can come up with. Uranus is stationing that day conjunct Sedna, which is about Sedna is being thrown out of the ship, thrown out of a ship. And yet, allegedly, this is the story of a father who's afraid of his own daughter, and he throws her over the side of the canoe and lets her drown. My gosh, people, this is so massive, I cannot even tell you. Anyways, my battery's running low on this thing, so I just wanted to show you how I do the asteroids. Now, I want to show you real quick. I know it's getting boring looking at all this, but this is very hard for me to show you when I'm using my laptop. All right, so we're going to look at how to read the ephemeris again. That's Mars. That's the sign for Libra. You can see that Mars left Virgo and entered Libra. Over here, you look at the date, August 7th. So you say, oh my gosh, Mars is in Libra. Saturn is in Mars's sign, which is Aries. And Saturn is retrograde and cannot bring about conditions of discipline, boundaries, and so forth in Aries. So you have to create the boundaries for yourself. And Mars can't make up its mind when it's in Libra. It's a terrible place. It's a detriment for Mars. So that's how you read the ephemeris. This is shaded. So this is retrograde. This is Mars moving into Libra. And you can see how fast Mars moves. Let me just try and get this. Mars is moving 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. So Mars is moving at speed, sometimes almost a full degree a day. That means Mars is moving at speed. So Mars is by, detriment, but moving at speed, making people not able to make up their minds. Now, when will you be able to make up your mind? If you can't figure stuff out, just stand in your current decision. But here you see Mars. And by the 7th, when we have the eclipse, Mars is still in Libra. Nobody can figure out what the heck they're doing. By the second eclipse, which is on the 20th, Mars is still in Libra and nobody can figure out what they're doing. And it's going to start to get like a crisis because Mars will be at 29. And then suddenly Mars goes into Scorpio, where it knows exactly what to do because it's a domicile lord. And it Mars stings from behind. So, like in retrospect, after this whole time of not being able to make a decision, Mars will come out and go, oh my gosh, now I know what I'm doing. I'm absolutely making a decision, and it's going to sting, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to whip me in the butt from behind. So that's how you read it. But at that point, look at Saturn. Saturn goes from 0 degrees. Okay, so Mars is the ruler of Aries. Saturn goes from 0 degrees Aries and back into Pisces. Oh my gosh. And Saturn in Pisces is like dealing with our grief again. So when you hear the conversation that I have with Nish, it's about like, which way do you want to go? Do you want to be in grief and sadness around what's going on, or do you want to enter states of euphoria because a massive cosmic change is happening? Now, you can see this I've circled. This is a day when a planet stations. You see that? And I told you already that Uranus stations on the day of the eclipse. So we're going to have Uranus in its full saturation of revolutionary new changes that are happening, conjunct Sedna. Some of us are going to get thrown overboard out of the boat. All right. So that's how I read the ephemeris. And the nodes are always kind of retrograde, moving backwards. And I will show you this week when we do Mars, we're going to do Mars on Sunday, how to look at the movement of the planets and also their daily movement from the tropical perspective is like a clock. I'll show you that this Sunday. Now, I can see people are asking me, and actually giving your birth information. Sweetie, don't put your birth information on public forums, please. Don't put your birth stuff up. If you want to do a session with me, what you do is you email me. It's $150, so I don't want everyone emailing me. Obviously, I work for hours to put together. Thank you for retracting your message. I work for hours to do your chart. Like this morning, I'm working on asteroids, personal asteroids for people. I work for hours to do a chart like this. You could see my whole process where you have to draw the chart. You have to know what the heck this means. There's a lot of things that you have to do. And you want to email me at lalitakaroli@yahoo.com. It's $150. Don't put all your private details and stories, okay? And if you put all your private details and stories, just know that email is easily hacked. It's a CIA program, people. Don't be stupid, please. And also, I want to thank the people who are making donations. I'm allowing people to also make donations on Bitcoin now through PayPal, and my PayPal is my email address. So when you email me, lalitakaroli@yahoo.com, just your name as you want it on your chart. Like if your name is Eclipse, Pisces, Full Moon, then you write Sunday, the 7th of September, 2025. That's what you'd write to me. Seattle, Washington at 11:08 a.m. That's all I want to see in an email. Okay. And then my calls right now are either by phone if you're in the United States, or on Zoom. If you send me a Zoom link, you can record it. Or I also do Facebook Messenger, which people figure out how to do their own recording from Facebook Messenger. So what could people do with your birth info and your name? If they have your birth info and your name, and they have your bank phone number, like they call M&T here in the United States and say, this is my birth date, this is my name. Yeah, honey, don't be stupid, please. They get they all of this stuff is done by, you gotta tell your exact birth time, date, location. I mean, that someone can get into your bank account that way. All right. So, yeah, there's no more questions that I can see. Sassy Lassie says that asteroid chart um, was life changing for her. So, many of my students, I also want you to know, when I studied with Demetra George, I studied every Tuesday morning for 2 years. So people don't really understand how long it takes to understand your chart, but I have been studying my chart for more than 20 years. So when you're making an investment in astrology and you're watching these videos, you are your best astrologer. You are. You are. Not me. You are your best astrologer. And so I want you to study this. And in my videos, like I've studied this for years and years. I started studying astrology when I was 6 years old. Think about this, people. I've been studying astrology for 50 years and drawing charts for 50 years. So you can study your own chart or you can pay me and I will teach you how to study your chart. But it takes about 10 years to be an astrologer. So a lot of people are asking me to do, tell me what that means and that means. That's not how it works, folks, because you can see there's geometric aspects, there's houses, there's asteroids, there's outer planets like Sedna. The other word that I thought was really close to Atlas, this alleged mothership, is Atlantis. So that was the other one, CATLA. That's where you're getting those words. You're trying to match what they're talking about, and Atlantis is prominent in both of these. Oh, here's the Genius Act. You can see the Genius Act at midnight on July 20th with the asteroid Epstein. Absolutely unbelievable. And here's the other eclipse. So Atlantis is really prominent in the 21st of September, and it's a grand trine in water. Again, asteroid DNA 55555 is traveling with Pluto. And you'll have to get with the Cosmic Salon because I can't say what I said, on these CIA platforms of YouTube. So Sassy Lassie says, Harley and I appreciate you. Yes, I appreciate you and Harley so much. This is a wonderful couple, a man and a woman that are studying with me and doing great work. So isn't that interesting about the series also, that series is prominent and we're going to have to reevaluate how we do agriculture? That's for sure, because this CBDC thing, they're going to lock us out of our bank accounts, folks. Do you even know what that means? All right, sweet cakes, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope that